In the gym and in the car, with our advice you could go far. We fuck things up and we make mistakes. We talk about our sexy dates. We host events and we go to clubs, but most of all we're still in love. It's getting hard for this to rhyme just as well, 'cause it's bed hopping time. Na 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 na. It's bed hopping time.
Hello and welcome to the Bed Hoppers podcast. My name's Mr. H.
I'm Mrs. H.
We have a corker of an interview here for you, but we're not going to play that just now because we've got some other stuff to talk about.
We do.
Always be promoting.
That's you.
Or teasing. I think in this case we're teasing.
Oh, you're definitely a chief teaser.
We are teasing out a little bit of information about something that we've been up to. So we went on a scouting mission. Mm-hmm. We went across the country.
Yeah, to somewhere else.
Not literally across the city where we live, because that would have been a bit lazy. We took a lovely lady with us.
We did.
And we went on an adventure, and then we went to a load of bars
yeah.
and a load of different venues to find ourselves a venue for a new social event that we've got coming up in September.
We do. We did lots of quality control.
Yes.
By that, we imbibed many drinks in many venues to ensure quality at all times.
Absolutely. I think we did enough sampling to last us for the entire weekend.
Very likely. I'm not sure the quality of the sampling got better as the night went on.
Well, what I liked is, so we went away to this unbeknownst and undisclosed location, and we started recording videos to our good friend Secret Stag and Secret Vixen with our lovely lady friend with us. And after we went to every venue, we gave it a mini review.
Yeah.
And I think we got to about 6 or so videos in, and I think we just literally lost the, not the will to live, but lost the ability to record anything. So
I like how the random lady in one of the videos was on the street and came over and scratched your head.
Yeah.
Just to pass her by.
I was just filming and someone patted my head and wandered off. That was
maybe they really like your hair.
Maybe they did. It was a new haircut perhaps. But anyway, so we have got a location sorted out. We've got a venue sorted out. We've got a date sorted out, but
I'm not going to tell you any of those things.
Yeah, that's the challenge, right? So we can tell you that it will be in September.
Yes, definitely. A date in September.
Not all of September, because that would be one big party. Now, the reason why we're not doing that is because we wanted to let our patrons know first. So if you're in our patron group, you'll know the date and you'll know the location, hopefully by now.
And then our Discord community.
So we'll be telling them, well, they'll probably already know by the time you hear this, but we wanted to give them first shot, grabbing a ticket and then opening up to everyone else. So if you want to come along to this amazing event that's in September at a different location, at somewhere that you don't know where it is and a date that you don't know it is, the good news is tickets will be available very soon.
And the drinks are very good because we sampled them.
Yes, we did sample the drinks.
Much sampling.
I'm really excited about this one because we haven't done a good social for a while, just us producing it, kind of inviting the Discord community and the Bed Hoppers community all along to have a really good mingle, mixer, bit of fun.
Like a little reunion.
A bit part reunion, part introducing, old friends to new and also bringing some new people into the fold and catching up with some people that we've never met before, right?
Yeah.
That's the plan. So we're sorry for teasing you. Well, actually, I'm not sorry in the slightest because I do enjoy teasing people just a slight amount.
You do.
A slight amount, really just a little bit. I do laugh in the face of danger and like to stick my head in the lion's mouth. But anyway, the reason is we wanted to give you a bit of a heads up to say that it's coming, say that we're very excited it's all sourced and sorted, and then we'll be revealing tickets and revealing all the information over the next week or so. So keep your eye on X or Twitter and Swinghub and other.
I might do a TikTok.
You might do a TikTok.
First one in ages.
Well, you haven't done a TikTok for a while now, have you?
No. But I'm going to do one for this.
You're going to do one for this? Well,
yeah.
There we go. So
it'll be the best TikTok ever.
It will be probably the best TikTok ever, if such a thing is available.
Shit talk.
No, I don't think it'll be a Brit talk.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
so
better than a Twit talk.
Nice. Anyways,
so we just wanted to let you know that's coming up. We're really excited about it, and we'll soon be revealing the details of that one.
cool.
We're not going to dwell too much on promoting all of that sort of stuff right now. We're actually going to talk a little bit about the interview.
Yay. Who did we interview?
So we interviewed Mr. and Mrs. Wood. Well, they are Mr. and Mrs. Wood,
They are.
but they're sort of
Mr.
Swinghub is
Mrs. Wood on
Mr.
Swinghub.
Mrs. Wood. Now, the reason why we're saying this time and again is because they forgot to mention it.
Mention their own handle in the interview.
Yeah, Mr. Mrs. Wood
Yes.
on Swinghub. You can find them there. Go look them up. They are lovely. They're delightful. Also known as Ads and Chantelle. And we interview them about a whole great range of stuff from running events because they support things
do.
with the social club. Also about male bisexuality. So there's a bit of that sort of stuff. And also kind of what they throw in the lifestyle bin because we are contractually obliged to ask the similar sort of questions throughout each interview.
I didn't ask them what their favourite sandwich was.
Did you not?
No.
Have you
But
asked
to be
that?
fair, I haven't actually asked anyone else either.
Okay.
Maybe it's a new feature I'll bring out.
What is your favourite sandwich?
Do you know what? You can probably guess. You've
Is
known
it like
me.
Is it like a pastrami with some
Maybe
cheese and
like a Reuben's.
pickle Reuben's kind of thing?
I think
Okay.
a Reuben's remains my firm favourite.
Okay.
It's just a quality, top drawer king of sandwiches.
Does a burger count as a sandwich,
No.
or is that its own beast?
No, that's a burger.
What about like sausage and bacon in a sandwich?
I mean, technically, or is it a bun or a sandwich? I'm
Well,
talking about a sandwich.
I'd rather a bun.
Then that's really a breakfast product to me.
Oh, okay.
But this is the king of sandwiches, is what I'm
Okay.
getting at.
What about a bacon sandwich?
Oh, that's
Because it does have the words
fucking
bacon
class.
and sandwich in it.
That is absolute top drawer as well. It's hard to beat a bacon sandwich, but also a Reuben's is great.
Okay, fair enough. Well, let us know, firstly, your
Sandwich
favourite sandwiches. Also, if you've been watching Open House, we still haven't caught up yet. We're waiting until it's all been released. But let us know what you thought of it. We've had a few people sort of write in and let us know their feelings. Some really interesting comments.
And then we're going to watch it.
Yeah.
We're going to watch the shit out of it.
And then we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, we are.
And then you can hear our opinion about it and then write to us about our opinion afterwards. Great, isn't it? It's just like we'll get days of content out of this thing.
Yeah.
Great, endless amount of content. Anyway, on to the interview. So, Mr. and Mrs. Wood on Swinghub. Mrs. H, play the thing.
We've got something that's just for you. Holy shit, it's an interview.
So, joining us today are Ads and Chantelle. Thank you very much for coming along, being lured into our house, being ushered into our podcast room, plastered with wine and drinks, and being able to say something at some points when I finish speaking.
Well, he's had a few glasses of wine, so hopefully lubricated the pipes.
Sufficiently lubricated.
Is there any such thing as too much lubrication?
Yes,
You think so?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just a slip slide,
But some lubrication is important, right?
but not tears
But definitely not
Not
spit.
tears.
Spit is not lube.
or tears.
No.
You never use your tears as lube.
Yeah, I'm going to capture them, put them
You've
into a
gotta be really
tiny
sad.
jar and use them as lube.
You have to cry a lot to get enough lube.
You've had some emotional experiences before, right?
Yeah, but now I'm just picturing someone just crying into sex.
Crying excessively because they need more lube.
I mean, it's better if you make them cry before the sex, then capture the lube. So then you can do the sex on them to cheer them up.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I've thought this through.
Jesus Christ.
It's taken a really dark turn already.
I'm doing well. We're only 1 minute and 6 seconds in, and already we've gone to some different places. So what I want to know, folks, is how would you describe each other? Now, Chantelle, I'm going to make you go first because you have the fear in your eyes. How would you describe Ads?
Short, dark, and handsome.
Oh, not the tall dark.
is that
He's
it?
not tall. No, he's a beautiful specimen of a man, aren't you? Tanned, gorgeous. Yeah,
Just getting a look.
For me now.
yeah. You're just a lovely little soul.
Oh. Quick, get the tears. Quick,
Yeah,
collect
follow them
them.
And now you have to compete with that. How would you describe
I
Chantelle?
can't compete with it. That was always brought me a certain level of warmth. You know, she smiles with her eyes. She's just always been a nice person. It's very understanding. She listens. She's just a great person. Yeah.
And for people that are listening to this rather than watching it,
Yeah.
how would you describe her looks?
Just beautiful. On the spot now. Got to be careful what I say. Just, I don't know, 5'6", aren't you?
It's gone very short.
Favourite colour's navy blue.
Bob.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Beautiful.
What did you
I
say?
said mum Bob.
Mum, I thought you said mum bum.
I thought you said mum bum as well. Like,
Bob.
oh.
Yeah.
Hey, you're just gorgeous.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, this is lovely. It's taken your dark turn and it's like made it into something glorious now.
Yeah, it's all way too nice now. Let's get on to something. Let's get into the juicy gossip. how did you get started in this crazy, crazy lifestyle?
So it was on a bit of a lad's holiday once. We ultimately ended up in a strip club. In that strip club, me and a friend had a double dance. And, you know, whilst we had these two girls kind of dancing and doing their thing, it was just very underwhelming, I think that's the best way to describe it. So we come away from that, and my friend told me about him and his partner having a bit of an amateur porn blog. Within that, obviously, my ears stood up, and I wanted to know more. So he showed me a few pictures and stuff, obviously with her consent. And yeah, it just blew my mind, really, that they got to that level of openness and sharing their sexual desires and dynamics with people online. So
a few months later, we got married.
A few months later, we got married, and we had a stag do.
A honeymoon.
We had a honeymoon.
You got a whole stag.
So on the honeymoon, they basically sent us a screenshot of how many followers they had.
So Adam was asleep on our honeymoon because of jet lag, and I messaged them and was like, "Oh, I hear about this porn blog." So they sent me a screenshot of their followers, and they had like 10,000 followers or something crazy. And I was like, oh, that's their name on there. So I went onto the blog and I found them and had a nose. And then Adam wakes up from his nap.
He was very excited to show me.
Yeah. And he was like, what's going on? And then, yeah, showed him. And they were like, well, you've seen us now. We need to see you. So we took some pictures and sent them back. And they were like, guys, you should start a porn blog. You're really hot. So that's where it started. And then one thing led to another.
They shared our first post, didn't they?
Yeah.
Overnight, there was just loads of followers.
Yeah.
It was quite overwhelming, to be fair.
So you did start a porn blog.
So we did start.
Blog.
You were inspired to do
Us
your
too,
own.
yeah. So, I mean, for us, if we watch porn, it's more... We're not really into the whole plumber comes to fix your pipe scenarios. We like to see real couples sharing real life experiences. For me, that's what I find hot. I like to delve into people's, not delve into it, but, you know, for real people, it's real, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we started sharing more and more bits on there. And for us, it was a way to really expand. It gave us a lot of talking points about what we actually wanted to experience in our own relationship. And it was an easy way to talk about things without actually talking about it, because we could kind of share other people's profiles and this is hot, that's what do you think? And it really opened up sexual desires and really got us starting to talk about these sorts of things.
And then we went to visit said friends about 6 weeks after our wedding, didn't we? And we had a bit of a wild night, and one thing led to another, and I was like, I think I like girls. And that was when I discovered that I was bi.
Yeah.
And then we played, didn't we, that night? But it was just soft. But we really enjoyed it, and we were like, we want more of this because this is fun. But it didn't work out with them. Like, we were two good friends, and it just wasn't, we weren't compatible in the bedroom.
I think the excitement around it all just probably got the better of us.
Yeah.
I mean, we were pretty new to it, so we didn't really know how to talk boundaries and stuff like that. And I mean, you learn from every experience that you throw yourself into, don't you? Whether you can come away from an experience and say, look, we need to talk more about this beforehand, or this,
yeah.
You know, it's all ultimately life experiences that you learn from, which, again, I don't regret playing with them.
Oh, no.
It was a fantastic opportunity for us to kind of
have our eyes open.
Have our eyes open.
To everything.
To that environment. But it definitely reinforced our ability to come away from that situation, really being able to
communicate with each other.
Put boundaries in black and white as well.
Yeah.
Because we were quite... Before we played with them, it was kind of like, right, what's a do, what's a don't, what's an etiquette sort of...
Yeah.
How would you go around it? And I guess they just weren't really good at talking. And...
No. And
yeah.
So at this stage, did you know this was non-monogamy? Like, did you know this was swinging, I suppose? Or did you think it was just...
just some fun, really.
Just some fun.
Yeah,
it
no strings
wasn't
attached.
until... So we then built some friendship groups and stuff within not the lifestyle, because it was mainly through the porn blog, but we met a few people on there, and then we went travelling for 3 months, and when we come back, one of the couples that we'd met were travelling Europe from Australia, so we were like, oh well, we've still got some money left from travelling, so we didn't spend it all, let's go away for New Year. So we met them in Brussels for New Year, and we spent 2 nights with them, something like that, and we had loads of fun. And that was when you dipped your toe into like buy stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah,
properly for the first time. And you were like, actually, this is maybe something I want to explore a bit more. And I was fully on board with that because that's like my biggest fantasy.
Yeah, so the bi side was something that I'd always not kept a secret, but I didn't shout off about it. We didn't really play with that kind of dynamic until...
No, because I didn't even know I was bi until that initial...
It was having the blog
night,
that kind of
wasn't
opened our eyes to it, and we kind of exploring with that a little bit more.
Yeah.
So when did you first realise that you might be bi?
It's a hard one. See,
I bet it is.
I wouldn't say I've always been bi. For me, it was, a bit like any guy. You can appreciate a good-looking guy, but it wasn't until we started kind of playing with my bi side, and
it was more fantasy.
It was more
wasn't
fantasy-led, yeah. So I knew Chantelle was into it, and for me, it was kind of, if she's into it, let's kind of explore that, see where that ends up. So, yeah, we actively started seeking out for bi guys, didn't we?
After COVID. We had 2 babies during COVID, and then after COVID, we came back into it, and we were like, look, we want to throw like ourselves into this properly and explore, because we hadn't had a chance to do that prior to COVID. We'd only like met one other couple other than the people that got us into it. So we joined Field in search for a bi guy so that you could explore that, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then we made friends with a few couples, we met a few guys and stuff. And it wasn't until later that year that we went to a club for the first time. And it's only been like within the last couple of years that you've actually had a chance to like explore your bi side, yeah.
So how would you describe your dynamic now?
Between us both?
Yeah.
Generally what we're looking for?
Yeah, what are you looking for?
So what we're looking for, generally, for me, the vibe is everything. I don't really have a type of guys. It's
So fucking greedy, mate.
Yeah, I know bisexual people probably get this a lot, but no, for us, it's all about the vibe,
You are very, very
I'm
fussy
very
with
picky
guys.
with guys. I can get icks pretty easy. It's a lot harder to find a guy that would be obviously a woman.
Yeah, I feel like...
to connect with a woman.
Yeah, I feel like I'm the same with girls. Like, I definitely have to have a vibe and an attraction.
There's got to be that 4-way attraction.
Yeah,
That's
to
very
girls. But yeah, I struggle to find girls that I'm into more than what I would guys that I was into, predominantly.
Yeah, I mean, we would never turn away certain scenarios if they're presented to us, just because I'm bisexual too. It doesn't define my whole personality. It's just, for me, it's a sexual thing.
But yeah, we play with like straight guy.
We've played with straight guys. We can
Bi
have
girl
a
couples
straight couple swap.
Yeah.
We're open to pretty much everything.
Is that what you... So if you were thinking, right, we're going to, I don't know, an event or a social, would you kind of seek out then naturally couples?
Yeah, whatever
Couples or
vibe come our
bi
way.
guys,
Couples or
We
bi
wouldn't go
guys.
to an event actively, right, I'm coming here just to find a bi
Yeah.
guy, because, that will shut down every good opportunity that's presented with you. We found really good vibes with people that we just wouldn't expect.
Yeah.
For me, if someone can stimulate me mentally, it says a lot more than just the physical attraction, which, there's a lot to be said for that.
100% agree with that.
So as a bi guy then in the lifestyle, have you found any particular challenges at all?
Thankfully, I've never been... I've heard of people getting a lot of, not abuse, but kind of just getting shut off from people. Dismissed, essentially, for being bi. But
You've only had one
I've never
situation
had that. I've had
where a guy
one situation
said
where a
something
guy-
to you and you were a bit like taken aback by
it just
it.
caught me off guard, because
But-
I'm amazed that people can be that rude so openly as well, which...
So the guy said to a group of us in social, it wasn't one of our social that we were at.
The first ever social that we actually went to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
turned
so-
around and was like, oh, I just love it when all the girls fall in love with me, and then looked
They
at
just
Adam
look
and
at
went,
me and
don't
fall
you
in
look at
love.
me. Or yeah, they just look
wow.
at me and fall in love, and then looked at Adam and was like, don't you look at me, mate.
I just
Very
kind of looked at him totally like, holy fucking shit, you think very highly of yourself to think that I fancy you.
Yeah.
Like,
And this is, I think, one of the assumptions when you talk about bisexuality, especially in this. There's always an assumption that because you're bisexual, you fancy everything.
yeah, oh, you're bi, you want to fuck my husbands.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
don't you? You're like this woman. Like
Yeah.
no.
I found that with friends, like
Yeah.
when I've told vanilla friends that I'm bi, some of them have been like, oh, but you don't fancy me, do you? And I'm like,
Oh, so
no,
you
absolutely
fancy
not.
every woman then? No, of course I don't. Do you fancy every straight person that you're attracted to?
Yeah.
No, of course
No.
you don't.
It's just madness how people still think like that.
Yeah.
It's interesting though, because there is a common misconception that swingers will fuck anybody.
Yeah.
And then between
that swingers almost that at a certain level that all the girls will always play with each other, and there's all these little things that develop that you just see out there in the community. I think the one that really irritates me is the couple accounts, and you tend to see it a lot more on Fab Swingers, probably because there's not that level of detail on Swinghub. But on Fab, there's often the people that will say, we won't play with a couple if the guy is bi.
Yeah.
And that's always been a really well, it's a very presumptive.
To me,
that just says the guy's insecure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Maybe.
there's an assumption that they're going to straight away bum you or something.
We've played with loads of couples where the guys have been straight, and it's never been an issue.
I mean, I'd say 99%.
Yeah, we've only played with a handful of bi guys, haven't we?
Yeah, we've had a couple of dynamics where that's been like a bi soft swap,
Yeah.
but that's very rare, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can find that. Again, you have to have a four-way attraction.
Yeah.
Sorry, finding a bi guy, but you've also got to be attracted to them too.
Yeah.
Be attracted to, it's got to be a four-way thing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it just feels like you're there to tick boxes, and
Yeah.
that's certainly not what we're there for.
No.
So you've been doing this for a number of years now, and we kind of gotten to know a bit about your dynamic and how you got started. What have you learned about yourselves?
I'm actually way more confident than I've realised. So our first trip to Penthouse, I'd had 2 cocktails and I pretty much led like an orgy.
You orchestrated this shit.
But I feel like coming into the lifestyle, I've gained like a newfound confidence that I don't have in my vanilla life.
One
I've
might even
always
say
been-
dominance.
I am very dominant.
Do you think part of that is because of the porn blog that you did before?
Yeah, massively.
It was
I
a
think
massive
it builds you up
confidence
so
boost.
much
Yeah.
confidence because you're constantly getting messages from people like, "Oh, you're so sexy," and it makes you feel good.
Like,
about
holy
yourself.
shit, you're a real couple and you're really hot. Like,
Yeah, because I never looked at myself like that, and like still now I have my days where I'm like, I don't feel confident, I don't feel great or whatever, but I do feel so much better in my skin since being in the lifestyle because like of the nice comments and attentions that you get from people. But yeah, a few times I've had like weird waves of confidence come over me, and I'm just like, wow, I didn't know I was this person.
Yeah, I mean, if everyone can get stuck in their heads, can't they, with their own insecurities and how they look and stuff like that. But if anything I've learned about the lifestyle is anything that you don't necessarily like about your body, someone else does.
Yeah.
Oh, good
It
point.
is
Yeah.
Massively.
purely just in your head. Your perception of you is not real. It's purely
Yeah.
based on how you think you look, not other people's
And confidence is
perceptions.
very attractive.
Yeah.
Very, very sexy.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I've always been a confident person, but the more and more I kind of open up and be my actual authentic self, the more and more people that are coming our way that, your vibe attracts your tribe, right? And,
Yeah.
when you're totally being yourself, it brings confidence because people are actually liking for you. In this day and age where everything's behind screens, it's so easy to just build up this false image of yourself online, isn't it? So, yeah, I think for me, it's definitely brought a lot of confidence. I mean, with the events and stuff like that, it's been really nice to
I've seen you come
just
up your
meet
shell
new
a lot.
people all the time. Like, I could never hold a proper conversation with a stranger. Now I can walk around an event. I can talk to pretty much everyone there without batting an eyelid. It's...
And then give Chantelle 2 cocktails and see what happens.
And take Chantelle 2 cocktails if the vibe's right and see what happens.
But you've definitely blossomed, I think, a massive amount since we've been in the lifestyle. You've grown massively. You've become way more confident. You've become so much better at talking about things and
Just
communicating.
Talking
and,
about emotion, I've got pretty good
and
at
it has done you the world of good.
Thanks.
So we've touched a little bit on the fact that you've mentioned events a couple of times. So one of the things that our listeners may not know is that you are part of a collective, I guess is the right phrase.
Sound like a ball.
Yes, they've assimilated lots of people into
Yeah.
it and created something of a community, but they actually run events. Now, Chantelle, you're one of the creators, one of the hosts,
Yes.
with the most, obviously. Now, tell us a bit about that. What's been the idea behind it? How did that come about? What's happened?
So we went to an event, a social, and it was not our vibe. We walked in, everyone sort of looked at us and made us feel really uncomfortable. No one really spoke to us. And
Not our event.
No, it wasn't your event.
Thank
You
you.
need to caveat
Yeah,
that.
please caveat
Definitely
that.
not our event.
No, definitely not yours. And we left that night saying that we need to change this. We need to do something about this and make like a crowd of people that feel comfortable, are open, will talk to each other. So then the January after that, so Ash had come to me and she had said she wanted to do like play events. So I was like, oh, I don't really want to dive straight into that. Mrs. E had also said to me that she wanted to create events. So I was like, well, why don't we get together, the three of us? Because you've both come to me and said that you want to start something. Why don't we get together, the three of us? Because it's less of a load on us if there's three of us doing it. Yeah. So we did. And then we had our first event last May, which was a sellout within 24 hours, which was amazing. We were very shocked at that. And it went really well. And it was the complete opposite to the first social that we went to. And it was just what we wanted to build. And the community that we had brought together, like everyone was lovely, and it just worked really well. So then after that, for the rest of last year, we pretty much did an event every month. But it was a lot. Trying to keep on top of it with like our other jobs and stuff that was going on as well.
Because I want to say, sorry, before you go any further, that so much effort goes into running events, and I think if you don't run events, then you don't see that. And
Just turn up and go.
There is a
nice.
lot behind doors, right?
Even just a social event, like just the nerves of running it drains the fuck out of you. But even when you're organising, when you're trying to get everyone, and you're getting messages constantly, and you're dealing with people, and some people have crises every 2 minutes, and you're all that stuff. No one necessarily sees the behind the scenes, and it's a lot to take on. So I recognise with a few of you, it does lighten the load a bit, but it's still not an easy task by any stretch of the imagination.
No, so this year we decided that we were going to do every other month to make it a little bit less stressful. Yeah, and I feel like we've got into the swing of things now. Like we're working really well together, and we all know our roles, and it's becoming a lot easier than what it was last year when we were like still learning.
It's learning how to communicate with each other as well.
Oh yeah,
you've got to
100%.
be in the right.
Yeah, and like even like learning what roles work best for people and stuff like that. So, but yeah, we've got some exciting stuff coming up this year, which we didn't think necessarily last year that we would be doing yet. So, no, it's exciting to be like, we've got a boat party coming up, so that'll be fun. That's not something we had thought about until the idea cropped up. So yeah, it'd be nice to do something different, and we're just going with the flow really and seeing where it takes us.
See, I have to say I enjoy them, and we've been to quite a few of them. Some of them I even remember. The first one, maybe not so much the first one.
I think we've only missed one so far.
Yeah, but I don't think we can make all of them this year. But it's a nice community, and it's nice for us as Carolyn and I to be able to go along and not fucking host.
Oh, isn't it great?
It's so nice because it's a very similar crowd, and there is a bit of crossover to both the crowds.
Naturally,
so I'm like, hey, there's people that I know, and I trust these people to run it and do a good job. So I'm like, I feel like I'm almost at one of my own events, which please take it as a high compliment, because I enjoy
it without
the work element. And it's very nice to be able to go into that space and just enjoy it.
Just let your head out.
Yeah. And we've had this conversation between the four of us before, that it's nice to be able to go to something and not host and kind of go, oh, I'm just going to an event as me. Yeah. And I'm not the host. I'm not wearing the hat. And it's quite fascinating.
My God, don't you enjoy it?
What? It's not true.
It's the swing pong.
I can neither confirm nor deny the rumours of a nickname that has been bestowed upon me.
You have lovingly bestowed the term of swing pong.
Swing pong.
Because you just see him like in a crowd going bing, 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 bing.
Did you see what happened with the ping pong though at the last session?
I did not. Please tell us. This is a story that needs sharing.
Me and Chantelle.
We were playing ping pong.
Spotted an opportunity where we actually got to let our hair a little bit and have a bit of fun. So straight to the ping pong table. We're both as competitive as each other, really. And as I was just about to hit the winning shot, so
there was a table full of glasses.
I swiped about 6 drinks off of a table next to a ping pong table.
I heard that. I didn't see it.
It was that.
And it went silent.
Everyone was like, call the hosts. And I was like, I'm not here.
So I slowly found a hole and hid in it.
So what I'm hearing then, Nat, is that you didn't win any games that night and got thrashed by everyone.
You're only saying that because
'Cause,
You
I mean-
won shuffleboard.
I won shuffleboards.
You did
I
win
even got a medal.
shuffleboard.
Not against me, you didn't. Or
You
foosball. I'm
got
just
me
saying.
after a few beers.
I waited for him to be
No,
weak
yeah.
and crushed
You
my
took me when I was low.
I did win at Twister though. That was a
I think we all won that.
the human centipede Twister game.
I was too busy getting beaten at them.
I didn't see that one.
So you've obviously been doing the socials for a while now.
Yeah.
And you've obviously been in the lifestyle for a while. What have you learnt about other people?
Ooh. Grown-ups aren't as grown-up as you think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big
true.
one.
Oh, very whimsical.
A lot of people don't know how to talk about things. I think that would be... But also, there are people that can talk about lots of things and open your eyes up to a lot of things.
You definitely find your tribe.
You do
And
find your tribe, yeah.
You kiss a few frogs before you get there.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
you definitely find them eventually.
There's nothing wrong with kissing little hoppers.
There has to be some pun in there somewhere that he's going to come out with.
Of course there is.
Well, I'm a hopper.
But I agree in that the finding your tribe bit, it can feel like an arduous fucking journey, and you can feel
Yeah.
like it's going to go wrong and that these aren't your people. But stick with it because they're out there.
Oh,
it
yeah,
just takes
100%.
time to,
Yeah.
and when you do find them, it's amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
The friendship makers as adults are very different as well. You know, what we've certainly found is you can definitely put up with friends without realising it. You can grow up through adulthood, all your kind of life milestones when they're not matching up to your peers around you. Sometimes it can distance friendships. It can, dissolve them completely. Sometimes a lot of jealousy kicks in. Which, I mean, jealousy comes in all forms, doesn't it?
So, okay. So what else have you learned about other people? So, because I appreciate that relationships can be very challenging as you get older.
Yeah.
In terms of events, what's it like looking after a bunch of people?
It's fun. Like, everyone has got their own personalities. You come across some people who are shot away, but it's been really fun, like just getting to know all these people that you wouldn't necessarily cross paths with in like your vanilla life, and building friendships with people that are completely different to you, but you just vibe with and you get on well with, and it's just been really fun.
Just like-minded individuals, isn't it?
Yeah.
People are fantastically unique as well.
Yeah. Yeah, but I feel like there's so many different like people within the lifestyle from all walks of life, and it's just been really interesting learning different dynamics, learning about people, and just getting to know people on a deeper level.
It's nice making lifelong friends.
100%.
Yeah.
I think we've made some of the best friends we've ever had along the
Yeah.
way.
I mean,
really.
that's another story altogether. You know, we came into the lifestyle kind of wanting to explore our own kind of fantasies, kinks, desires, you name it. We didn't realise how many deep connections we would make. It totally caught us off guard. But,
Yeah.
when you have these really vulnerable, open chats with people and kind of wear your heart in your sleeve, you do subconsciously build these fantastic friendships.
Deeper friendships than I think you do in your vanilla life,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
you
sure.
can't
Right.
just talk about everything openly and build friendships based on no secrets. And it's so nice to have that like ability to be able to do that.
We found that for sure. Like the conversations you have are on a different level completely.
Yeah, sex aside, the friendships you make are bloody fantastic.
They
They're
are.
real.
Yeah.
They're, you're open.
Yeah.
People like you
Open
for
book.
being authentic. It's...
And that's the thing, we're not all just all at it rabbits like Roman orgy coming out of our ears.
No.
We
Yeah.
actually genuinely spend time with the
Yeah.
people that we meet
I mean,
and
because we like talking to them and
Yeah.
Just going to
socialising.
buzz Jeeves and tell him to pwn the orgy, okay?
No, the outsider's perspective on swinging as a whole needs to change. I mean,
Agreed.
programs like Open House and stuff like that. Again, the media doesn't always portray things correctly, as you probably noticed. But, it definitely needs to change. I think it's making a lot more people open-minded, a lot more people are willing to explore and, scratch the itches in a safe, comfortable environment, which is so important. There's people that end up kind of splitting up, have affairs, like in vanilla life. Had they been swinging and actually talking about what they want and need in their own relationships, it probably wouldn't have happened.
yeah, 100%.
I think it's important to recognise that things still go wrong. Of course they
Oh
do.
yeah,
sure they do.
absolutely.
But at the same point, if you're having regular open dialogue and communication with your partner and your friends,
Yeah.
it's much more likely that you're going to be able to navigate some of those
the
difficulties.
tricky emotions
Yeah.
rather than hiding away from them and finding, from elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so what I want to know then, so what have been the main challenges for you two then? What have been some of the stumbling blocks that you've come across?
So we early on in the lifestyle, we met a couple that we played with a few times. We got on really well with. They ghosted us. They just stopped talking to us completely out of the blue. And that was really challenging because I was like, what have I done wrong? Like, you just question yourself forever, like, oh, what's happened? Why have they stopped talking to us and stuff? And it wasn't till probably 9 months later that they sent us a message and they were like, guys, we're really sorry. Life just got really busy. We bought a house, we've got married and all stuff like this. And we just didn't know how to, as time went on, we didn't know how to approach you and just apologise for like not messaging or whatever. And I was like, do you realise how much like emotion, I guess, that you've caused through not just being honest?
Well, you're
Emotional damage.
every day,
Yeah,
aren't you?
because you're constantly like, should I be taking a step out of the lifestyle? Have I done something to hurt these people? Like, you just don't know what the issue was. But that's probably I think we've only ever come across that issue like once. We haven't really had any challenges other than that, apart
I think
from
we've been pretty good, really.
yeah,
We're
we've been really
very
lucky
blessed
that
with the people that
we've met some really good people. We've met people that we've vibed with initially and it hasn't worked out, but I think that's like everyone, like the more you get to know people,
It takes a long time to get to know people, right?
yeah, the more you get to know some people, like the more you realise that they're not your people, and that's fine. But yeah, I think we've been really lucky in the sense of we had one experience with a couple where we played with them and it was fine that initial night, and then we went to a club and they overstepped some boundaries and didn't ask consent and stuff like that, and we had to have a chat with them about it because
They hurt
us. They also hurt some friends that I don't think they took on board our conversation, because they then went on to do the same thing to some other people that we've heard of.
Self-awareness
But they're no longer in the lifestyle now. But yeah, we've been quite lucky that we've only come across like a few people that have been a challenge as such.
It's a good thing, though, I think, because, you know, when I think back to our original sort of starting years, I use the term years, it took us a good couple of years to find our tribe. And
Yeah,
it does.
But you know, I think looking back, this was like going back, 2016 when we got into all this. And there were nowhere near as many resources and socials and activities and events and places where you could safely meet people back then.
Agreed.
It was very, very few and far between.
It was all Fab was the only.
And the only things that did exist were, you know, really sketchy versions of what exists today. So I think people now come into the lifestyle in like
They're so lucky now.
Yeah.
the last 12 months will have seen something of a resurgence of good people all helpfully gathering in great communities at events like yours and ours and some other great ones that we know about. And it wasn't that around all those years ago.
It's interesting because I think one of the great joys of doing both the podcast and events, and I'm sure you feel this yourself with the events, is that people come to it and it'll be the first thing that they've ever done.
Yeah.
Petrified.
They'll be
nervous, shaking like a little dog.
But the fact that you know that your community is fucking solid,
Yeah.
and you know that for the most part it's a good bunch of people.
Yeah.
No group is ever going to be.
Oh, no,
But
no, yeah.
for the most part, people are solid and will support each other. Like, for them to come in as newbies and that be their first experience is amazing, and that's so satisfying.
That's what I mean.
Literally, we had an email about that today. We spoke to a new couple about it the other week, and that's the bit that really drives me and makes me think. Well, actually, because you get a lot of issues. You get people complaining. You get people causing problems. You know, you might get someone that's vandalized something at an event.
Yeah.
All these, for us with the podcast, we'll get people slating us for various different things because that's just people, right?
Yeah.
But the moments when someone writes to you or turns around and says, you know what, I started and this was my first thing and you have helped me on that journey. Yeah. I'm like, fuck yes, let's go around and high five everyone.
Yeah.
Gives me goosebumps.
It's when you get
Nice.
your reviews and stuff like that, and people like this was our first dip into the lifestyle, and everyone was so welcoming.
Absolutely not what we thought.
And I'm so proud of the community that we've built, and I'm so proud of all the people that are in it and how loving and caring. And I feel like you could go to our Telegram if you were struggling with anything and ask the question, and you would never be judged, and someone would always give you an honest opinion and answer and try and help you as much as they possibly could, because everyone's so like genuine and just lovely. Yeah,
there's an absolute
and
wealth of
there's
knowledge.
someone there that will know most things as well, which is quite nice.
I think one of the things, and
Shared experiences, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's quite pertinent actually for today, because there's been a bit of a chat going on in your Telegram group, because I'm in there.
Yeah.
And you are
Sometimes.
eventually. But I think, and the same with our group as well, is that eventually a community starts to self-police.
Yeah.
And they self-educate, and it's the self-educate bit that is amazing, because you get the people that come in, and you might get someone that's not experienced life in a great deal, and maybe they've got some opinions that are less than cool with the group, right?
Yeah.
But actually what you see is people come in and they start really nicely supporting that person on a journey of kind of understanding different approaches, different, like almost like an ED&I journey, right?
Yeah.
You know, all the stuff around, oh, what about these people? Have you thought about these people? What about this person? They can't walk upstairs. Therefore, when you think about them. And the fact that that starts to happen within a community is marvelous, because then you start to see everyone become much more knitted together and much more supportive.
Yeah.
But it happens in cycles, because it's really fun, because, you know, people don't want fucking hardcore conversations every day. Sometimes they just want to post some tits or whatever. But occasionally the conversations, and those things are mutually exclusive, of course. Yeah.
Especially on a Tuesday for some reason.
Tits, but you hate the alliteration days. That's one of your biggest hang-ups, I think, in the whole thing, like Taco Tuesday and Willy Wednesday and everything like that.
Stop getting my titties out. Maybe I do it on a Wednesday to mix it up.
If you went with Cock Thursday, that's fine. That's not illiteracy.
And it's Thursday tomorrow, so are you waiting by my phone?
I stand by the fact that Transformer Monday should be a thing, but I'm not sure.
I did that once. I did it just for you.
Yeah, I know you did it, but just for me.
I digress.
So
Sorry.
with all this talk about newbies and stuff, what advice would you give to newbies? Now, you get to give them one piece of advice each. Now, the answer cannot be communication, because fucking everyone says communication.
That's a given.
Oh, look at him. He's failed now. He's like, oh, shit.
No, I've got a point there. What I will say for a newbie, when you're talking to a new couple and you're vibing quite well, always try and talk about scenarios that you want to happen. See if they line up. You know, a lot of people go into these kind of scenarios without talking about what they actually want to get out of the scenario. So I think it's very important to talk about potential scenarios that could arise. If you can't talk about them with other people, they probably shouldn't happen. But that's just my perspective on it.
That's good advice.
It's very good to be able to talk about things.
My advice would be go to social. Before you throw yourselves into a club or something like that, go to a social, see if you vibe with people, talk to people about their experiences, see if there's if you make any connections, if there's anyone there that you're interested in, or even just building friendships and building a tribe, because it's way less scary to go to a club or something like that when you've already met people and you can go with them, or even going on socials and stuff like that. It's so much nicer to do that with people that you already know, that you connect well with and you can have a conversation with, rather than just go out for dinner with someone and that just be flat and there be nothing. So my advice would be to go to a social, meet people. I much prefer to go to a social and meet a room full of people and see who I get on well with, than to just go out for dinner with one couple and then it just not be
I've seen her. She's like a shark running through her community, just marking people with bits of chalk on their back. These are the ones we're going to see, ads.
The thing is, most people in lifestyle have kids. To organise a random dinner with people that you might think are hot, it takes a lot of planning with childcare, with grandparents. You know, we generally have to plan stuff 3-4 months in advance just to make sure we've got the childcare. You know, without sounding horrible, I'm not going to waste that opportunity on people that we might not actually vibe with. So meeting them in real life, social, seeing what the vibe's like. There's, you can talk to multiple people.
And then if you don't get on well with someone that you've been speaking to on one of the apps, then you don't go on a date with them again. Whereas if you're sat at a table and you don't get on well, it's just awkward, and I hate awkward situations.
I quite like them.
I think,
Unsurprisingly.
yeah, there is something about that. I mean, and we did that with.
No, I'm with you on that one. It's awkward if you've committed to a whole evening, you've gone out for dinner, be like, oh,
Hang on.
Ease
Like,
Our first couple of years were all awkward, like 90% awkward
didn't have any
situations.
banging socials to go to.
Well,
that's why.
I know, and we didn't create our own at that point. What I will say, though, picking up on what Chantelle was talking about, is actually going to socials and research as well. It is a form of research because you get to ask questions and find out about it. And I think it's so important. And I'm always slightly shocked in that people just kind of go, you know what, I'm going to be a swinger tomorrow. And then, like, I'm
They have
completely
no idea.
Yeah, no idea where to start. And then we get a lot of these messages, in fact, because on our website, right, you can send us a message and it'll send us an email. And you can do that anonymously, but you can put an email address. So and there's about 3 lines to say, do not try and hook up with us on this site. But inevitably, that's what 80% of the traffic is. But a lot of people are like, how do we start doing this stuff? And I'm like, well, do some research.
Yeah.
Like, have a look. Like, go out there. Like, watch some open house, listen to the podcast, go to a social, have conversations, reach out to other swingers. And I appreciate that's what they're doing. But to a certain extent, it's like, tell me what is the 101 course that I should have? And I'm like, fucking hell, I can't give you that in an email.
No.
Like,
It
seriously.
took me years to get to that point.
Although,
Listen to 203 episodes. There you go.
yeah, hilariously, though, I did speak to a brand new couple at your recent event. Lovely, lovely couple. First thing they've ever done. And I was chatting to the guy for about 20 minutes at the bar, right? And I was like, oh my God, what? Like, and he was very curious, wanted to know lots of stuff. And I was like, what the fuck am I going to present in like 10 minutes or 20 minutes of time that is going to help him on the journey? And I just literally verbally diarrheaed. I was like, and then this is another thing you need to remember, and do this, and do this, and this. And I was like, fucking, this poor chap, he was very, very grateful for the advice. But I was like, I have fucking overloaded this poor bastard. And now he's going to go out and have 2 drinks and it's all going to be gone, bless him.
Did you sign him up for your cult in the end?
I did, yeah, I did. I was like, can I
good
tell you about
book?
the good book of lifestyle? So, yeah, but it's the research thing often surprises me in that people kind of jump in. And yeah, great. If you happen to sort of be like carried away in an adventure, great.
Yeah.
But when you're actually looking to do this as a longer term thing, there's nothing wrong with kind of researching and listening. And
There isn't. However, I will counter this slightly for you.
yeah, I can edit this bit out. It's fine.
You know what? Fuck off. But I'll tell you for why, Mr. H.
All right, you tell me for why. Because I had a lovely bit of cock there, David.
I know. Sorry, my fanwy. You and I are very different.
Yes.
Right? I mean,
I've noticed.
deeply in love. Lots of things that we do align on, but there's some things that we just don't have the same ways of going through life sometimes,
Yeah.
right? And that's cool.
Are we talking about my fixation with anal now again?
We're not going to talk about that now. This isn't about you.
Okay, all right.
I'm speechless. I knew it.
So your advice is brilliant as always. You know, go and research and do your stuff. However, you and I both know that I don't do that so well, unless I'm made to do it, or it's my job to do it, or I have to do it because I need information, because I have to do a piece of work that relies on it. I actually won't go and do it off my own back for enjoyment. It's not my thing.
But
I find it difficult to go, and I like to go and just talk and be in.
So I
with
think
people.
research doesn't have to be you sitting down and reading a book. And I think
You haven't
that's
written a book, have you?
fucking tried. I got like 3,000 or something
I was
words
going to
into
say it'd
it.
be a tome.
No, it was
would
really.
rival
but
Tolkien.
I started writing a book before we did the podcast. It was going to be called Bed Hoppers. I was like, this is a great thing. It's going to be amazing. And then I realised I was writing it, and it was what the show became. But I was doing all the fucking work.
I'm not going to write a fucking book.
Well, I know.
I didn't sign up for that.
But
You
okay,
wrote
so
that.
moving aside from the book and whatever, I think you don't have it. Like research doesn't have to be a strenuous thing. That can be going to talk to people. That's
I actually find
research.
it quite strenuous.
What, talking
That's
to
why-
people?
So what would
No,
your
the research?
What
bit.
would your advice be to a newbie?
Find your friend who goes and does it for you?
I'm just picturing you guys turning out to a social and have bullet points written on the back of your hands.
So, right. So actually, this isn't too far from the. So,
school exam.
True.
so
it really isn't.
In the early days, I did a lot of what I would call Batmaning, which is like thinking through every possible outcome.
Which is kind of what you said, Ads, when your advice. He does think his way through every possible permutation of what could happen, what if this happens, what if that happens, what about this. He knows all of it
If this
in advance
happens,
because
what
he's
would you
thought
do?
about
Yeah,
it.
we talk about it.
I don't think of any of that. I don't have a sort of mind that logically puts all that into some kind of algorithm of what if.
Yeah.
I just turn up and go, I'll navigate it.
But I get that.
we're
but for,
different,
But for
is what I'm
someone
saying.
that is as fragile and as vulnerable as I am, and I know, gentle
understand.
listener, that might be a leap for you to imagine. But I'm very emotional, and I don't want to put myself where I'm going to be hurt.
Yeah.
So for me,
Forewarned is forearmed, don't
yes.
you?
So I like to know the possibilities of what might happen and how I can best defend myself against those things. Not that I'm like going into a fight, but don't get me wrong. But it's like what would happen if someone kissed Mrs. H and I wasn't prepared for it? How am I going to feel? What am I going to do? Transpires, that happened a lot. So I got used to kind of the feeling. I'm just
How
so
did it feel?
fucking terrible. I'm like, it's like, it's great, but where's my go? Fucking hell.
That's what we've learned then, isn't it?
Yes, well,
You
this
know,
is
you're
what
fine as long as you also have a joypad.
Yes, this is the thing. This is the video gaming thing. But in terms of research, I genuinely think it doesn't have to be arduous. It doesn't have to be. You can do edutainment. You can watch Open House. And the fact is, now,
I feel like a lot of newbies come into the lifestyle after watching Open House.
now
God, I'll have a bang on that. Yep, looks great.
I have many issues with Open House, and I've not seen the latest stuff.
No.
But I think as a putting it up in front of you, what would you do if this happened to us is still a valid conversation.
Yeah.
So I think from that reason or that purpose, it is useful. If you think for one moment that is giving you a guide to the lifestyle, it's absolutely not. And I would recommend many other sources. And I'm saying this with the caveat that I've not watched the third season.
And we're going to, but we haven't yet.
Yes,
so.
and people are already writing to us with their views on it. It's been fascinating. I've had 3 of those
It's
today.
classic media, though. They only show you certain bits.
Yeah, of course they.
And it's,
You know-
it's there for entertainment.
Yes.
If it all happened and there was no arguments and everyone kind of got
It wouldn't be
it
television.
wouldn't be
would it?
fun to watch.
So,
would it?
Well, and that's the thing. In a way, I prefer Playboy Swing because you're getting porn.
Yeah.
Nice. you know that there is a conversation at the start about whatever happens in that environment stays in that environment, and therefore you'll sort it out with your spouse afterwards.
Yeah.
There's an actual trained psychologist, and
generally the advice is really spot on.
generally pretty
We felt
good.
like this because of this. Maybe try this.
I think my advice would also be, if your newbies coming into it as a couple, then experience it as a couple before you go separate. Because I think a lot of the time on Open House, people just go in and then they're like told to almost go separate.
Yeah.
And then that's when it causes rifts. Whereas if you get to know, like, to navigate it together and then you decide to go off separately, then it's a whole bit different ball game. But when jealousy crops up a hell of a lot more when it's you go straight into it and divide.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
think it's a recipe for disaster, really.
Yeah.
It works for a lot of people. But
I mean, if that's your kink and that's what you're both into,
Right,
it's going
yeah.
on, then it might work.
Yeah.
But it feels like if you're going as a partnership, then you probably need
Stay
to
as a partnership.
stay as a partnership and figure it out and get some mileage under you before you go off and do something mental.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things about. I mean, there's lots of stuff about Open House that we will be covering at some point. Would love your views when we get to that
It's very
stage.
divisive, isn't it,
It's-
so
well, it-
far? But we'll
yeah.
see.
It is, but it is swinging in a form on television. So therefore is helping to normalise non-monogamy, just not in the way that I'd like to. But then
Yeah.
a programme about how we've all got amazing friendships and sometimes we have sex with each other
It's not
very
is a bit boring.
boring,
Yeah,
is it?
it's not so good. So with all this in mind, right? If you could change one thing about the lifestyle, this is Carolyn's favourite
it's
one.
always my
This is the
favourite
room
question.
101. If you could throw one thing in the bin and
question
get
I
rid of it
always
and
like to
change it,
ask.
what would it be?
Yeah.
And you get one each, but only one.
Chuck one in the bin.
Check one in the bin.
One thing.
The stigma around bisexuality, and it's not even bisexuality, male bisexuality, because I feel like people need to be way more open-minded and accepting of it, and just accept
That's what
that's
Carolyn literally said to me the other day. I should be way more open-minded and accepting of it.
And you whispered it like a mantra.
Yeah.
over
have
and
to
over.
agree.
I woke up in the middle of the night and it was just, she was like,
Be
you will love the cock.
One day.
Okay,
That's right, you will.
One day.
Yeah.
I don't know
I'm
how
just going to
happen,
face
but
this
it'll
wall for a
happen.
minute.
Yeah, no, that's a topic of conversation that we've been discussing today in the Telegram chat. But I think people just need to be way more open-minded about it, clubs and just in general, that like let people play. Like if they want to play, let them play. You're not fussed about your partner snogging a woman, so why should you be fussed about a man next to you playing with a man? Like,
Yeah, I agree.
why should it be any different?
I think it's one of those weird things that's in life, those really difficult things that some people have just got something in the
A
head
barrier,
about
yeah.
a barrier about. And I'm all for like trying to create a space where everyone is welcome and everyone can
Yeah.
do what they want
Yeah.
as long as they get consent and people are happy. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with another guy coming up to a guy and going, well, hey, I like you. Could I do this?
Yeah.
And you can go, no.
Yeah.
If you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just in the same way that if a woman that you're not attracted to comes up and says the same thing, you
Yeah.
can go,
No.
no.
No, thanks.
Thank you. But I recognise that's quite a stretch for some men.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure why it's such a stretch. Maybe it's just upbringing and insecurities and all
yeah.
that sort of stuff. But or are they going to cave in the second they get asked?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh yeah, I'll take that cock now.
Maybe
please.
they're
Yeah.
just not ready to accept it yet.
Maybe.
Mr. H.
I feel like somehow is the room locked? What's going on here? Is this a thing? Ads yourself. Let's move on to a different.
Doesn't really smell of chloroform whatsoever. Go on, drink it.
Roofy
I
taste.
forgot what your question
Kool-Aid.
was. Your question?
If you could change one thing, what would it be?
If I could change one
Yeah,
thing
what
about
would
the
you throw in the
swinging,
bin? Yeah.
what would I throw in the bin? The outsider's perspective on swinging. It's not a keys in the pot type party. People aren't just fucking everyone. You know, people in the swinging scene are so open. You do build up these fantastic friendships. You have a deep level of communication. You know, to try and find people to actually have sex with is pretty hard. 'Cause
agreed.
You know, you've got to be attracted to them physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever. But yeah, the outsider's perspective. You know, I mean, on the outsider's view of me, I'm a straight guy with 2 kids and I'm married.
It's been really interesting actually because my parents know that we're in the lifestyle, and my dad has seen how much Adam has changed since we've been in the lifestyle and how much better he is at communicating. Because when we first got together, he
Oh,
was
I knew
like
3 emotions. I knew happiness.
Yeah, but
sad,
he was
anger.
like mute. He barely said a word.
I couldn't express my own
This,
emotion.
this fascinates me so much because one of the great joys of going to your socials is, frankly, sitting down and having a conversation with us.
Oh, we
And
have a few beers and
Yeah,
talk
and-
nonsense.
He would never have done that.
This
When we
shocks
first
me,
got
you see.
together.
I was always
He
the one that
was
hid away in the corner.
quiet, like timid, shy guy, and it's only been since we've got into the lifestyle that he's completely come out.
Self-serious.
And I feel
So
like
is everyone else.
So is everyone else.
I
good
feel
thing then.
like my dad's seen how much we've grown as a couple, and it's
Yeah.
completely changed his perspective on the
Yeah,
swinging
because
lifestyle.
I mean, telling your parents initially was kind of terrifying.
My mum
When he understood,
found out. I didn't tell her, but she definitely knew something. And she was like, oh, well, your uncle and his ex-wife, they had a threesome and then they got divorced. And it was like...
it'd just be random.
and-
We'd be sat eating dinner on a Wednesday, but like, yeah, threesomes will destroy your marriage.
Yeah, and stuff like that. And like they were so like closed-minded about it. And then once they'd like seen the friendship
The
we built
growth
and
in our
the growth
relationship.
in our relationship and how much better we are communicating, like we don't argue anymore and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's like almost like actually that's done them the world of good. Like it's
Yeah.
clearly a hell of a lot different to what people in monogamous relationships are like, because they have to communicate all these situations and scenarios and stuff like that and overcome things.
Yeah, because
And-
you can't leave things unspoken.
No.
We'd never sleep on an argument or anything.
No, but yeah, I think it's just, it makes you grow as people, and I think people need to appreciate that a bit more.
I think I've had so many lovely stories of people's relationships only being enhanced by all
Yeah.
this in a good way. Not that their marriages were suffering because they didn't love each other, but they just lost that ability to communicate and
Yeah.
tell each other what
You
they
see it all the
wanted.
time.
what
We've got
made
friends
them
that have been
happy.
together the same
Yeah.
sort of time as us, and
Yeah.
they just kind of fizzle out. And
They don't have
Yeah.
sex and they don't communicate their desires, and
The amount of men not having sex in relationships
Crazy,
that
right?
where we've spoken to your
Yeah.
friends is
Yeah.
nuts. And I'm like, what the
Baffling.
Yeah,
I have
very.
a lot of friends that don't give blowjobs, and I'm just like, how are your men happy about this? It's like mind blowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's baffling, isn't it?
But yeah, I feel like, yeah, we obviously have a lot of sex, but even just us as a couple,
We've always
our
had quite a
sex
healthy
life
sex
is
life.
like, yeah, wild compared to what it was back in the day.
So I'd love to go back into the past and meet younger versions of ourselves. And because it would be the most awkward, weird thing.
Yeah.
Because like me now is very different to me
So different.
10 years ago. I
Yeah.
think you've said that a
I've
number of
said
times.
it on a number of times. You are a very, very different person to the same values and the same wonderful personality, but you've grown so much as a person. Yeah, like
Sometimes quite literally, given where I am in my dietary situations.
growing big and small.
Yeah.
But
I had a beard, a really big beard at one point. Then it got shorter.
But it's true. We've brought out the best in each other, I think, over time anyway, because we've been together for many years. But since doing this, I think we've learned more about each other again, which I didn't think was possible after
Whole new
spending
wave of
all
love.
that time together. We've then learned more on top of that. And it opened a not boss level relationship. Like, we've got
Boss
more,
level.
you know?
What I like though is you kind of find your pitch within the lifestyle. You kind of go, this is really exciting, whatever, and then you kind of settle into it. And then every so often there is maybe we should try doing this, and it starts all over again. And it's like another wave.
wave.
Of
It's
let's
like achievement unlocked again.
because talking about
Grab
like
a surfboard and ride it. It's a great way.
well, it's like the separate dating thing for us. That's
It would have
relatively
been
new.
horrifying years ago when
Yeah.
we first did this.
Yeah,
Terrified.
But actually now it's become like an interesting little add-in of
Yeah.
spice to not a like preference,
No,
but like,
no.
we can do this and we're not going to break, and it's quite
Yeah.
sexy.
Just nice to
Holy
have
shit,
now and
this
then.
is
I think
awesome.
if you
Yeah.
can get a little bit of growth from every scenario that you kind of throw yourself into, it's only going to get better, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. So what I want to know, right? What would be your ideal date? I love the way that you're trying to read my writing there. No one's been able to.
Upside down.
Yeah.
Can't really do it when
Even if it's the right way up,
way.
it's
like a spider died on there.
Date.
ideal date.
What, just with us or with other people?
Or with other people.
Okay.
I mean, through the lens of a swinging podcast.
I mean, generally, I find it very hard. If we go out for dinner somewhere, and it's a little bit too loud, it's a bit too noisy. You know, I've got enough noise in my own brain as it is. I struggle big time in noisy places.
We went on a date recently. We went to Boom Battle Bar and we done axe throwing and shuffleboard. And then we went for dinner afterwards. That was a really nice evening. We don't very often get, so a lot of the time we end up having friends around to ours that we've like met at socials and stuff like that. Because of the kids, it's just easier to get people to come to us. A fire pit with dinner in the garden is always lovely. But it was really nice to just go out for an evening and actually have like a night out. And we had so much fun, didn't we?
It was
like
fantastic.
It was a really nice evening. So yeah, something like that, or even just people around. I love to cook for people.
Yeah,
I am a massive feeder.
She's also
So-
a very good cook.
Yeah.
And
I love it.
I enjoy your food very much.
So if I can cook for people, then great. Love that. So
But also, I'm slightly saddened by the fact that you went to Boom Battle Bar and didn't do the karaoke there.
I thought you were going to say he didn't invite you.
No.
I mean, when are we going?
for you.
Oh, good.
We
Thank you.
can't do karaoke with anyone else.
see?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we said this at the last social, didn't we? That we were going to do a cover to, what was it, Year 3000.
Oh, I'm in. I'm all in.
I mean, I'll bring a guitar next time I come
I'll
around.
bring the new. It'll be great. Yeah.
Some
There's
boys
like
to men
6
classic.
guitars in the house. You'll be fine.
He's got guitars. You don't need to bring one.
Yeah, we've got
Let's do it
enough.
now.
Right, fuck you all, podcast listeners. We'll be back after the year 3000.
But for me anyway, being on a date, it's great having a fun date like that. But for me, I like the more intimate dates. I like the chatting around a fire pit over dinner. You know, somewhere that's quiet that you can really have a real deep chat. I feel like you can cover such a high level of
You definitely struggle in busy places.
busy places. I
So
can't.
it's
I shut off.
shit.
Like,
Yeah, you
if I'm lip
really do
reading, I'm done.
Yeah. So yeah, garden.
Fire pit, dinner. Generally, just talk for 6 hours. Yeah, that'd be fine for
We
me.
love a deep chat. So if we
I
can
struggle with small
have
talk.
deep
as well.
chats with people, then great.
Yeah, I don't want to know what the weather's like. I just, I want to know. Yeah.
Notice how much Carolyn is laughing about the weather comment because
I'm obsessed with fucking weather.
I don't know what's happened, but
It's always what I talk to vanilla people about. I'm like, oh, it's nice
No, I
outside
don't want to know what
today.
people think about the weather. I'm just obsessed with knowing what it's going to be like.
So
That's all.
Yeah.
every morning I had
I don't talk to
Alexa,
other people about
what's
it.
the weather going to be
Oh,
like? And now she started asking my fucking car what the weather's going to be like.
I have
As
a
I go-
conversation with AI on a regular basis about the weather, but I don't talk to other people about it.
I mean, generally, I have to
That's
check the weather
weird.
every single day because of the nature of my job. Like
Right,
today, I
I
stripped
just really
stripped
need
someone's
to
roof
know.
today. It rained yesterday.
Exactly.
I have to know what the weather's like.
You need to know these things, especially for lifestyle dates and stuff. You need to go, are you going like in a summer dress? Are you going to have to like wear jeans? You
Rain
need
mat?
to know.
Yeah.
Are you going to turn
know.
up in what I can only describe as pajamas? Who knows?
I would love a date in pyjamas, frankly.
I'm in
bloody
my
love
pyjamas.
pyjamas. I would not be offended at all if someone came and went, "Oh, can I just chill out with you?"
Hello.
Yeah, there's only one problem with that.
He doesn't wear any.
I don't have any.
Yeah, but if one to bed, I like to wear them around the house and just chill out. So I'd be very happy. Yeah, very chill.
Well, we've talked about bisexuality,
Yep.
quite a bit about that. We've talked about events. We've talked about your dynamic, about what you've learned about yourselves and other people, some of the challenges, advice you give to newbies, and how people can date you. You've given away your secrets now, so that's it. People can organise these things with you.
They need to just come to a social.
Just come to
meet us.
social. Just come to social. Just come say hello. We're approachable. Yeah.
Excellent.
What is the name of your social? We haven't actually covered that.
The Social Club with 2 S's.
There you go.
Now, what does the other S stand for?
I mean,
Social Club.
it's a
It's supposed to. It's,
So
it's
the
supposed
graphic
to
is a
be,
back to front
yeah,
S.
So
I
one
know.
is
It makes a
straight,
love
one's
heart.
back to front, and it makes like a little love heart.
but you can't do that
So-
in text. So
No, so
Hang on, isn't
I'm not the right person to ask.
yes, I was going to say, isn't one of you responsible for such a design? Yeah, I'm not going to say anything at
she
this
is
point.
the design guru. Isn't she?
Yes, she is the
So
design
it's
guru.
the social club.
It's the Social Club.
Not to
but
be
it's
confused
just
with the
got-
SS Social, which is a
No.
very different organisation.
It's just got 2 S's because it looked cute.
I thought there was parcel tongue involved.
Oh yeah, that's
Harry Potter. So what I want to know is, where can people find you in the world?
So we are on Instagram and Swinghub at current. As in us or as in the Social Club?
Both.
both.
Okay, so we are on Swinghub, but the Social Club is on Swinghub and Instagram
Okay.
and Telegram if you've been to an event.
Okay.
So you can join the chat when you've been to an event and
Nice.
meet all the lovely, wonderful people that we have in our tribe.
There we go.
You also have to be a member of Swinghub to buy a ticket for an event.
Not so much anymore. As long as we can verify you,
Yeah.
you don't have to be a part of Swinghub, because we've found a lot of people aren't. So we do, as long as we can verify people, we will quite often get people to message us on Telegram with their ID and stuff so that we can verify them prior to the event. And then we will sell people tickets.
Is this why I had to send you my bank number and sort code and national insurance?
Your
stuff?
mother's
I wanted
made
to
it,
rob
mate.
you.
Okay. Fine. Okay.
Send me,
You
send me your
want to send a
monies.
picture of your cock to Adam there. I'm not quite sure why that
I didn't ask for
happened. Is that just a
It was consent. But, wait a minute.
Wait, because I'm
You s-
bisexual, I don't want to have sex with you, Si.
send a picture of your cock to Adam?
Yeah, it was Karen that sent that.
Sorry.
Yes.
And we also have a boat party in July.
Okay.
And then we are currently looking to arrange something in the beginning of October. And then we will be having a cool bash at the end of the year in November.
Nice. Excellent. So we'll be sure to share the details, probably on Insta. We do that kind of thing because we're
Yeah.
good like that. So I want to say a huge thank you for coming along. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Miss H, do you want to do your thing?
I do. Well, thank you for hopping into our bed.
Right, so I want to say a huge thank you to Mr. Wood off of Swinghub, because we are contractually obliged to mention,
What they didn't mention.
yes, their names on Swinghub, which are
Yes.
Mr. Wood,
That's Mr. Wood.
Mrs. Wood.
Them the ones.
There we go. That's their names, Ads and Chantelle. I thought they did a bang up job.
Yes.
Really lovely to interview. Great, fantastic people. Although, again, not obliged to say that, but they're
But
just really lovely.
It's easy to say good things about
They
nice
are
people, right?
disgustingly nice. It hurts me
Yeah,
just a
they
little
are
bit
really nice.
about how nice and wonderful they are.
And they say nice things about each other as well. So
Made me a bit
they're
sick
nice
in my mouth.
inside as well.
I know.
What are you, some kind of like misanthropic hater now of people?
No, I like nice people. Nice people
Good.
make me very happy.
Nice people in your life make you smile.
They do
and you
indeed.
have a lovely smile, so you should do that more.
Ah, thank you. Like my open mouth Muppet smile.
I mean, that appears in every picture ever.
no, sometimes there is the like
and people
blue
are
steel.
really thrown when it doesn't come in. They're like, wait, what's wrong with Mr. H? Why is he
What's-
not showing all his teeth?
What is wrong with that Muppet faced arsehole? Why is he not smiling
He's
like an idiot?
70% less Muppety in this
I know,
picture.
I
I don't
know.
understand.
You wait. One day I'll shave the beard off and you're going to
No.
be confused.
Then the dog won't talk to you. And I won't talk to you. No.
It'll
Beard
happen.
stays.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do
beard
it. I'm going to
stays.
shave the beard off at one point. and I walk around at an event and no one will know who I am.
Well, good luck getting
Which is
ID'd
just like
everywhere.
well,
You'll get ID'd in Marks and Spencer's.
I'm nearly
That's all I can
50
say.
now. Come on. I'm going to get ID'd. And also, I love the assumption that everyone knows who I am at an event
You
anyway.
also look 12 when you shave your beard off.
Hello. Do you want to go on a nice date with me? It'd be lovely.
Right, with theme tune.
Sing the theme tune. Yeah, one of those. So, yeah, massive thank you to Ads and Chantelle for coming along and being such amazing guests. We're on the lookout for more guests, so if you're interested or intrigued about being on the podcast, get in touch, particularly if you're one of the members of our Patreon. It'd be cool. We're looking for some of them to talk to. That would be good. We're going to update you on our mysterious social.
Yes.
We're going to have some details out and about.
Steeped in mystery at the moment.
Yes.
But it won't be for much longer.
No. Well, in fact, by the time you're listening, it may already have happened.
It may have been all revealed.
You might be listening to this in 2048 or something and going,
Jesus.
what the hell is going on? I can't go to that thing. I'm a bit late for this one.
What do you think people will be listening to in 2048? What medium will they be listening to things on?
What do you mean, what medium?
Well,
Like
at
FM,
the
AM,
moment, no.
podcasts?
I mean, do you think podcasts will still be a thing in 2048?
Probably. I mean, like audiobooks are still a thing. They've been going for a long time.
Will we have flying cars? Because
No.
I was promised this on Tomorrow's World about 25 years ago and it hasn't happened.
Do you remember on Tomorrow's World when they put jam on a CD?
I do, to show how durable they were.
It's a lie. They fade away the
It is a
dust
lie.
and they all
We
get
should have put
mouldy and
marmalade
shit.
on there.
No. Anyways, Mrs. H, do your thing.
Well, thank you for hopping into our bed.
Did it twice this time. We did it the
I
other time.
know.
We're doing
I
it
know
again.
did, and I knew that. And that's why I said it again. 'Cause it's a really good way to say goodbye.
Well, I'm going to say thank you for hopping into
I
our
mean,
bed.
fine.
I did it. I done it.
Fuck you, Santiago. Is that what they say
Hush.
on Anchorman?
It is what they say
Well,
on
there you
Anchorman.
go. It works for him.
Well, we totally got this one solved.